Welcome back everybody, my name's Stick930 and this is a review for my time spent with the Call of Duty Black Ops 4 Open PC Beta. Now, I've had a chance to try this out twice now, both on the PlayStation 4 and on the PC, and after experimenting with most of the available specialists, game modes, and abilities, I thought I'd share my thoughts on what I like from this demonstration, and things I'd like to see changed by October. Alright, so first a little background on this game. Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is a competitive online shooter game designed by Treyarch, the developers behind the fan-favorite Call of Duty Black Ops titles. The Black Ops games are often regarded as the better series of Call of Duty games, thanks to its excellent multiplayer design, its addicting zombie survival mode, and its creative approach to its single-player campaign. Unfortunately, Call of Duty Black Ops 4 will be releasing without any single-player campaign, and will instead put all of its eggs into the brand new Battle Royale mode called Blackout, which, no, has not been revealed in its entirety yet. The rest of this game will include the classic multiplayer mode in addition to another reinvention of the popular zombie survival mode. Now, this beta only gives players access to the game's competitive multiplayer mode, so the rest of this video will focus on reviewing that content, but be sure to stay tuned to my channel for more information at a later date. Now, despite this being the fourth entry in the Black Ops series, this game actually takes a few steps back from the insanity that was Black Ops 3. Players are no longer allowed to use jetpacks and wall run to flank their opponents, and are instead stuck back on the ground and forced to fight like more traditional Call of Duty games. In fact, this game feels significantly more like Black Ops 2 than Black Ops 3, and that could either be a good thing or a bad thing depending on which of those games you enjoyed. One element that does remain from Black Ops 3 is the focus on specialists. Specialists are a collection of distinct hero characters that you're required to choose from, each with their own unique special abilities that can be activated after a long cooldown throughout the match. Unlike Black Ops 3, players can no longer double up on a single specialist, and are forced to choose quickly at the start of the match to play as the character of their choice. This helps to minimize spamming a single specialist type with a powerful ability, and helps to minimize balancing concerns. But it also seems to lean more towards an Overwatch design than more traditional Call of Duty games. Many specialists return from Black Ops 3, including Ruin, who, instead of gravity spikes, now uses a gravity slam, which basically functions the same way, with a small area of effect killing any enemy standing nearby. Other returning operators include Battery with her War Machine grenade launcher, Seraph with a high-caliber revolver called the Annihilator, and Prophet with the Tempest shock rifle that can chain together electric arc kills. Nomad also makes a return, but now he calls in K9 units, much like the dog killstreak awarded to players in Call of Duty World at War. Then there's Ajax, who can deploy a bulletproof shield and can fire an automatic sidearm while rushing enemies. Firebreak returns with his Purifier flamethrower. Torque can deploy a reinforced barricade equipped with a microwave emitter, useful for area denial. Recon can be used to spot the enemy team through walls. And finally, Crash functions as a team healer, and can boost the team's health past their maximum. Unlike Black Ops 3, there doesn't appear to be a secondary ability. Previously, Prophet could change his ability from the shock rifle to a sort of flashback power that allowed him to teleport backwards to avoid danger. It's possible these secondary abilities aren't available in the beta, or I just missed them completely, but I didn't see any sign of them during my time. What I did notice were some specialized equipment items unique to each character. Battery gets a cluster grenade, Torque gets razor wire, and Ruin gets a grappling gun. These equipment items can be used much more frequently, and are going to need some serious tweaking, but I'll get to that later. Outside of these specialized equipment items and abilities, the specialists all behave the same, and have access to the same standard weapons. The weapons all behave as you'd expect for a Call of Duty game, with your typical assault rifles, SMGs, and sniper rifles. I did find it much harder to control the recoil on weapons like the SMG, a weapon that in Black Ops 3 was easily the most powerful. The bouncing seems to favor ARs and sniper rifles significantly, with the full auto SMGs and LMGs taking a back seat, and it'll be interesting to see if this balancing is fine-tuned by release. No weapon really stood out to me as being overpowered, but it's difficult to tell early on with so many players experimenting with the arsenal. Next, let's talk about the available maps. So far, I've had a chance to play through a few of the brand new maps including Hacienda, Seaside, Payload, Gridlock, Frequency, and Contraband. Overall, I had no real problem with these maps. They all seem to follow the same typical map formula of the past several Call of Duty games. 3 lanes with a lot of action in the center, and a few choke points here and there. Now, I do appreciate the more colorful aesthetic used in the Black Ops maps, but the obsession with making sure the maps are perfectly balanced also makes every map end up feeling derivative. I know maps like Castle from World at War weren't the most competitive, but I had far more fun playing in them than in these lane-based maps now. These new maps seem to lack verticality, which really limits what you can do with your arsenal, especially with characters like Ruin that can grapple and drop down for powerful attacks. There were also a large selection of game modes available to play, including classics like Team Deathmatch, Control, and Search and Destroy. But new to Black Ops 4 is the Heist mode, which is the closest I've seen Call of Duty come to replicating the old school Counter-Strike design. You'll start each round in a buy menu and will need to buy your weapons, attachments, and even perks. With each round, you'll accumulate more cash to spend on starting gear, making each subsequent round more challenging than the last, as players go from pistols only to full auto rifles and body armor. Another interesting new mechanic is the down but not out state your teammates go into when they're shot. This is a lot like Battle Royale games where players can be in-capped and can crawl around to avoid being shot more. This design will likely find its way into the upcoming Blackout mode, but it could definitely use some work. Players seem to crawl way too fast, and it just ends up looking silly. So that basically summarizes everything available in the beta, and now I just wanted to share a few thoughts before I let you go. First off, I was surprised by how much I actually enjoyed playing this. I went into this expecting the worst, but was surprised to find a very solid experience, with smooth performance, snappy gameplay, and a polished overall feel. But it absolutely is not perfect. The melee combat needs to be tweaked with larger hitboxes. As it stands now, it's difficult for melee hits to register, making for awkward, frustrating moments like this. Another major problem is the game's specialist abilities and gear balancing. This is to be expected, as it's difficult to really judge how balanced your experience is unless you have a ton of players testing it out first. But the reactor core equipment for Firebreak is idiotic. This device has a short cooldown and allows players using Firebreak to instantly become invincible, and create a large area of effect around them that damages players nearby, even through walls. This made some game modes like Control impossible, as players using Firebreak could simply activate the ability every time they were defending a point, and kill anyone trying to resist. Now, I'm not really positive if he's invincible during this attack, but he seemed like it when I tried to attack him here. Speaking of which, the overall time to kill is insanely high now. You need to unload entire mags into enemies now thanks to the ridiculously overpowered body armor equipment that every player can equip in their custom class. Removing this body armor from the game, or at least making it only explosive resistant, would benefit the game significantly, and would remove the annoyingly high time to kill. There's also two specialist abilities that I think need some major adjustment. First, Torque's Microwave Barricade. This ability functions just like the reactor core equipment, only it lasts significantly longer and can block off an entire path. I think they slow down the gameplay way too much and just feel out of place. Maybe just give Torque a shield with a small, vulnerable center that he can fire from or something. The microwave just seems like overkill. And then there's Nomad's K9 units. Why would they add this back in? Nobody likes the dog kill streak, yet this somehow keeps finding its way back into future Call of Duty games. Or maybe you guys do like this kill streak, I'm not really sure. Let me know in the comment section because I'm honestly curious. Other than that, there's not really much else to see here. Black Ops 4 seems like a solid competitive shooter game, but it's still a huge disappointment that there's no single player campaign to look forward to. It's difficult to really look forward to this new game with half of the content missing from it, but the potentially large-scale Battle Royale does have me interested. And who knows, maybe the zombie mode will be more fun this time around. So, what do you guys think? Is this Call of Duty doing anything new that you like? Let us know in the comment section, and make sure to like and subscribe for more game reviews posted every week.